Welcome back to another video. You guys won't believe what Gogo Mtshiqi said about FLOYD SHIVAMBU predicting his future at Umkhondo Wesizwe.
There comes a time when intelligent people worship the intellect. This tendency is at its worst when they start worshipping their own intellect. Once they start worshipping their own intellect, they are on their way to conflict between them and those who are threatened by that intellect. This is what may or may not have happened to the EFF, to the relationship between FLOYD and MALEMA. Now, managing that kind of relationship, as I said, requires a lot of maturity. A maturity that may not have always existed in this relationship. Now, the fact that certain gifts of leadership reside in Julius, not in FLOYD, may not have meant that FLOYD has no great ambition. In other words, his ambitions are not limited to being a backroom guy who influences the content of policy and strategy. To your point about the personal in politics, I think we can safely say that at some point personality clashes, overtly or otherwise, do emerge between the two. And the EFF becomes too small for the two of them. And therefore one of them has to exit. Now, if I'm correct with some of these suppositions, FLOYD is going to run into the same problem in the MK party. His intellect is going to be the source of conflict between him and others in the MK party. I remember listening to an interview between Tim Modise and Thabo Mbeki's mother. And the last question he asks Thabo Mbeki's mother is, what advice would you give to your son? And Mrs. Mbeki says, he must listen to others. He is not the only one who has ideas. Others have ideas too. I would give the same advice to FLOYD SHIVAMBU. Otherwise, his time in the in the MK party is not going to be a good time.
Wow, this actually makes sense. FLOYD SHIVAMBU and Julius Malema clashed because of personalities and no other reasons. You know, same thing with Jacob Zuma. He clashed with FLOYD because of personalities. And many people claim that FLOYD SHIVAMBU wanted to run MKP and wanted all the attention, and I also agree. FLOYD SHIVAMBU has been getting a lot of attention and he seems to be enjoying it. He doesn't want to be the background guy anymore. I've seen it at the EFF. He didn't want to be the background guy. He might as well start his own political party. It's obviously not gonna work anymore. Like Gogo Mtshiqi said, FLOYD SHIVAMBU wants to be recognized. And the problem is he wants to be recognized with Jacob Zuma's party. You know, he had the same problem at the EFF and now he's experiencing the same problem at Umkhondo Wesizwe. Gogo Mtshiqi said this before FLOYD SHIVAMBU had clashes with MKP. So this shows that he well predicted this moment of FLOYD SHIVAMBU. Him and Zuma and Duduzile were not gonna last together. You know, there are so much personality clashes in this party. Especially because FLOYD realized that he has now been getting a lot of followers. Many people believe that FLOYD SHIVAMBU made a big mistake by leaving the EFF only to have the same problems at Umkhondo Wesizwe. So FLOYD SHIVAMBU didn't understand his role. I feel like if he remained the background guy, even at Umkhondo Wesizwe, he was not going to be experiencing this kind of problems. But because he wants to be that guy who wants to be seen, he wants to compete in this cult political party, it's not going to work. It's either him or Zuma. And even Zuma was starting to get jealous of FLOYD because he noticed that FLOYD was getting followers. The followers of Umkhondo Wesizwe was seeing FLOYD as a significant figure than everyone else at Umkhondo Wesizwe. They were no longer recognizing Zuma as the head of Umkhondo Wesizwe and the president. They were looking forward to having FLOYD SHIVAMBU as the future president of Umkhondo Wesizwe. You know, so Zuma dealt with FLOYD SHIVAMBU before the situation of FLOYD SHIVAMBU escalated. He made sure that he puts FLOYD SHIVAMBU in his place. Now, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe and notification bell for more interesting videos from my channel.